Welcome to the Ringo TV Raw channel. Glad to have you here. We got work to do in the news. Straitway Ministries, P. Diddy Dowell. His ministries is in the news. There is a missing child. And we're going to get the word out. We got a lot of work to do. We have a lot of things to talk about. Going to bring awareness to the story. A lot of you have been trying to get my attention regarding this. I already knew about it already. Like I said many times, I'm very, very busy. But now we have time. So what exactly is going on? Well, we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of darkness going on. But word on the street as of right now, P. Diddy Dowell of Straitway Cult Ministries is pretty much in hot water. Their ministries is under fire for alleged abuse on children. That's right. Pastor Muir is a suspect. P. Diddy Dowell is a suspect. They're hiding a lot of information from the public. They have not spoke out on this issue publicly to make the people understand that the 14-year-old boy is safe. Not once have he come forward to, I guess, share his thoughts regarding the allegations and the news media. They're wanting this message to get out there. Police and law enforcement, are seeking any information regarding this particular child. And I'm going to do my best throughout this particular live stream to hopefully give them what they need. First of all, if law enforcement is actually listening to this particular live stream, you can find said information or information that you may need on P. Diddy Dowell's so-called Patreon account. On this particular Patreon, based on P. Diddy Dowell's words that he published on his platform, he made it very clear that the news media got it all wrong and how they're persecuting him. And he said if people want to learn about it, they need to go on their Patreon. Now, I don't suggest any of you go to his Patreon because all he's trying to do is make you pay to go to his page in order to get the information. As a pastor who claim he is an Israelite, a man of truth, a man of integrity, you would expect him to come into the public and address these particular issues. But no, he wants you to go to his Patreon page so that you can pay for the truth. That right there is deception. You would think that a father would be concerned about his child. His child been missing for probably more than 12 days already. That's a long time. And for whatever reason, they've been keeping this child hidden. They don't want law enforcement to see. Word on the street is that law enforcement got a hold of the parents and they agreed to meet up and then they backed out of it. There's a very, very sinister thing going on. I possibly would suggest or give my thoughts that I believe there may be some sort of abuse on the boy due to religious initiation, in terms of there could be something going on within the child. Possibly, maybe the boy is rebellious in terms of not wanting to comply with the cult. Perhaps there is some sort of sexual thing going on in terms of the boy's orientation, because as you know, Straitway Ministries is very anti, gay. They're anti everything. And based on P. Diddy Dowell's own words, he said at his ministry, no one can live the alternative life. So if there's a possibility, this is just alleged, there's a possibility if the boy is going down that path, there's a possibility that he was abused because of these situations. So it is very important, if you know anything regarding this situation, to come forward and inform law enforcement by pretty much just letting them know, look, this is what's going on, because the grandma came forward. The grandma may have cracked the case and pretty much put this out there. In other words, maybe none of us would ever know this if the grandmother didn't put this out there. So we have a lot to cover. We have a lot of different news stories we're going to break down. Enjoy the stream. This is a very, very serious topic. Again, I already knew about this situation already. Like I said, I'm very busy, but now I got some time. I got some time to cook, got some time to do what I need to do. So without further ado, let's go to the intro, and we're going to get to work. Let's go.
Yo, nigga, buy that paper.
Ringo TV.
Yo, nigga, buy that paper. Yo, nigga, buy that paper. Yo, nigga, buy that paper.
Ringo TV.
Yeah. True man, I'm free. I wake up a new episode. I pop out clean as keep me up a level though. She talk to me like I'm not me. I get it though. Yeah. I'm so eclectic, got me to the credits roll. Talk down to me, they might have to send medical. I'm out the league, I'm OD, they pathetic though. Look how I move, I'm protected. Shawty so swoon in my presence. The world going through it outside, they unruly, but I keep it cool, they can't press me. I keep it pure with intention. They see what I'm on, ain't no vixen. I might like do it that top down. I keep it tuned with a high power. Put it on me, I'm blessed. Young nigga blessed. Big bag, manifest the sky, no stress. Keep no evil around me, can't ground me. I built it since when I had less. No hex on, God can't pause, nigga, look at how far we progress. Whatever we doing, we keeping it fluid, I don't see a thing about that paper.
Ringo TV.
Yo, nigga, about that paper. 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 Hop on the jet, had to switch to the coast. One of a kind, I've been playing that role. They pay me to play me, I needed it for. It's real if I said I meant what I spoke. I'm legend, it's written, I shake of the city. Spin block till I'm dizzy, won't ever go broke. I'm chose, I must like do it a top down. I keep in tune with a high power. Put it on me, I'm blessed. Young nigga blessed. Big bag, manifest the sky, no stress. Keep no evil around me, can't ground me. I built it since when I had less. No hex on, God can't pause, nigga, look at how far we progress. Whatever we doing, we keeping it fluid. I don't see a thing about that paper.
Ringo TV.
Yo, nigga, about that paper. 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 Put it on me, I'm blessed. Big bag, but I fix the sky, no stress. Can't ground me, I know this since when I had less. Look at how far we progress. Fluid, I don't see a threat.
Well, state police are asking for help in finding a missing child. 14-year-old Bryson Muir of Logansport was last seen June 16th, leaving a family member's home in Ohio with his mother in a car that was owned by the Servant Leaders Foundation. Ohio police say shortly after they left that home, their car was pulled over, but Bryson wasn't in it. Indiana State Police opened an investigation on allegations of domestic battery 2 days later at the Bryson home. The home is also owned by the Servant Leaders Foundation. Bryson is still missing. If you have any information on where he or his parents are, you're being asked to call the Indiana State Police Peru Post. That number is 800-382-0689 or call 911.
There remains an unsolved missing persons case at this hour. Tonight, Indiana State Police are asking for your help in the search for a missing 14-year-old boy from Logansport. Police believe Bryson Muir may be in danger. As Natasha Casal reports, the boy hasn't been seen since June 16th, leaving a family member's home in Ohio along with his mother.
Bryson Muir is a 14-year-old boy from Logansport. He's been missing since June 16, 2024. On Wednesday, I spoke to Indiana State Police Captain Ron Galaviz about the case.
This whole incident began as a domestic investigation involving an alleged battery to a child, which occurred in Cass County.
Authorities believe Muir may be in danger. A few days before Muir's disappearance, the Cass County's Children's Services asked for ISP to investigate allegations of domestic abuse at the child's home located on the 1700 block of West US Highway 24. The property is owned by Servant Leaders Foundation in Kokomo.
So
The property is owned by Servants Leader what? So this is where P. Diddy Dowell is hiding all of his assets and property and everything else. This is how you know he is really under a 501c3. But he have it hidden. And we got receipts where we're going to prove that, because he recently had uploaded some videos that is very incriminating, because it's like He's telling on himself without telling on himself. Now, keep in mind how many times the news media is going to tell you that the property, the house, the car is under some sort of name. You have to peep what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen, because this is very, very interesting. Because when the young boy was missing, they were searching for the parents. Parents were nowhere to be found. Parents never came forward. Parents never made no calls. You would think if your child is missing, you're going to be calling the police. But no, the parents were missing. They were hiding because there's a lot of abuse going on at Straitway. And basically, Pastor Muir most likely allegedly beat the crap out of his son, allegedly due to some sort of situation where maybe the boy is just out of order, or he just not listening, or they trying to make him submit to some sort of structure that they have. Because remember, we're dealing with a cult. We're dealing with a very, very satanic cult that hide, and they have an image of, green lawn and the fruits and the vegetables, and they make you think that everything is nice. But behind closed doors, there's some sinister things going on. And based on the reports that's coming in, this boy literally have black eyes, swole face. Who did that? They never said he had a fight at school. Who did that? What's really going on? And why his so-called daddy is nowhere to be found? What's really going on? And why is P. Diddy Dowell not making no videos addressing the issue publicly? Why is he suggesting that you go to Patreon? Why? Because he's after your money. So money is more important than the truth. Money is more important than finding this boy. But yet they love to say that at Straitway, they protect the women and the children. Let's get back to the tapes.
Last time that we knew that he had been seen by anybody was on June 16th by his grandmother in Ohio.
Bryson, along with his mother, Christine Muir, left the residence in a white 2015 Chevrolet Suburban, which also belongs to the Servant Leaders Foundation. A short while later, the SUV was pulled over by Garfield Police Department, but Bryson was not in the car.
Bryson was not in the car. Imagine that. Now think about what was just said, ladies and gentlemen. Think about what was just said, and think about the SUV, what it's under in terms of name. Let's rewind that back. Let's wind that back a little bit. Let's go.
Of domestic abuse at the child's home located on the 1700 block of West US Highway 24. The property is owned by Servant Leaders Foundation in Kokomo.
So the last time that we knew that he had been seen by anybody was on June 16th by his grandmother in Ohio.
Bryson, along with his mother, Christine Muir, left the residence in a white 2015 Chevrolet Suburban, which also belongs to the Servant Leaders Foundation.
Which is also under the Servant Leaders Foundation. So it says that Bryson and the mom left in the white SUV. And what happened?
A short while later, the SUV was pulled over by Garfield Police Department, but Bryson was not in the car.
Interesting. Bryson was not in the car. He left with her in the car, but now he's not there. What's going on, people? What's going on at this cult? What is going on? And why is the parents hiding this abuse? See, a lot of times you come on YouTube, you look at these pulpit pimps, you look at these pastors, and they open the Bible and they make you think they're all godly. But when abuse is near, right, they're nowhere to be found. These are the same judgmental pastors that had so much dirt to say about people, but now look what come to bite them. Now their church is in the news. See, the Most High don't like ugly, and Straitway Ministries will get theirs. Let's get back to the tapes.
So what we're seeking right now is we're seeking the public's assistance in helping to locate Bryson. Bryson Muir is described as a 14-year-old black male, and we're also seeking any information as to
look at that boy's face, man. Look at that boy's face, fam. Now, what in the world is going on? Look at his face.
SUV was pulled over by Garfield Police Department, but Bryson was not in the car.
So what we're seeking right now is we're seeking the public's assistance in helping to locate Bryson. Bryson Muir is described as a 14-year-old black male,
Look at his face, ladies and gentlemen. His father may have allegedly did this to him, and P. Diddy Dowell's hiding his dad. P. Diddy Dowell's in silent mode right now, ladies and gentlemen. He's doing videos about nonsense rather than talking about real issues. I thought Straitway is about protecting the children. I thought they're about that. I thought the cult of Straitway is about protecting women and children. So why is it that the leader, the cult leader of Straitway, is not addressing this issue? And where is Pastor Muir to address this issue? How come he ain't making no videos right now? How come he ain't making no videos? Where are the videos, Pastor Muir? Where you at now? You had time to talk a whole bunch of crap last month. Where you at now? Why you not talking? Cat got your tongue? You were beating your boy? Police is going to get you. You're going to be arrested. That's why you didn't want to show up. See, you agreed to come on down last minute. You turned it down. Why? Because the boy's going to talk and the boy's going to expose you because it took you this long to pretty much make a move. Law enforcement is on to you guys. You got everything hidden under different names to hide the truth, but the truth is coming out now. Just like P. Diddy Dowell's mentor, R.G. Stair, the truth is coming out about him now and his ministry. And what's so crazy is his so-called Pastor Muir, former NFL guy, played for the Colts, and he's in a cult. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense.
And we're also seeking any information as to include his parents, because obviously the primary concern for us right now is the safety and well-being of Bryson. But we also have have a need to communicate directly with one or both of his parents, both of whom we've now been able to reach out to directly.
You heard that? They haven't even been able to reach out to them directly. Are y'all seeing this? While the boy is missing, they couldn't even find the parents, y'all. They couldn't even find his own parents, which shows parents don't even care about their own children. And you wondering why I made all my videos about P. Diddy Dowell, the cult ministry of Straitway, the virgin auction block, the abuse that's going on. You wondering why I made all these videos talking about these issues, right? Now you see what's going on. It's all being exposed. Let's go.
That was Natasha Casal reporting. Now, we've reached out to the Cass County Children's Services to learn more about this alleged domestic abuse, but we are still waiting to hear back from them. If you or anyone has any information about Bryson Muir and his whereabouts, you are encouraged to contact Michiana Crime Stoppers or the Indiana State Police Department. We obviously continuing to follow this important story, both here on air and online.
And you have to get involved, ladies and gentlemen. You have to get involved and you have to call law enforcement, because these particular ministries, they love to hide under the Bible. They love to talk about how they believe in Jesus, but behind closed doors, women and children are being abused. Case in point, this situation. 14-year-old boy is brutally beaten. P. Diddy Dowell haven't addressed the issue. The only video he made is him coming online talking about he's being persecuted. Last time I checked, when you're persecuted is because you're actually teaching truth. The news media is not persecuting you, because you're teaching the truth. The news media want to know where is Bryson and what is going on, because as far as we're concerned, he needs medical help. He needs safety. He needs to see a doctor, because the grandmother reported all of this information, and yet his own daddy is nowhere to be found. Make that make sense. That goes to show the kind of character of P. Diddy Dowell. Let's get back to the tapes.
First told you about Bryson yesterday evening. CBS 4's Eric Graves followed the trail today, I should say, to the gated off property of a religious group in rural Indiana.
Private property, no trespassing, plenty of signs to let people know the message here. This is where ISP says the Muir family lives, who they can't get a hold of.
They can't get a hold of. You hear that? The Muir family lives there, but they can't get a hold of. Make that make sense. Your child is missing, but you can't get a hold of the parents?
This is 14-year-old Bryson Muir. Indiana State Police are trying to find him. Bryson is the son of Daniel and Kristen Muir. Daniel is a former Colts defensive lineman and now a person of interest in the ISP investigation into his son's location.
He's our primary concern. His well-being and his safety is of utmost importance.
Bryson's last known location was his grandma's house outside of Cleveland, Ohio. At the time, he had this black eye. Bryson left with his mother Kristen in a white 2015 Chevy Suburban. Bryson's grandmother called police, worrying her grandson was being beaten. State Police Captain Ron Galvez says minutes after that call, Kristen in that Suburban was pulled over, but Bryson wasn't there.
Which mean they switched vehicles, y'all. The grandmother called. She made a call to law enforcement, letting them know, look, they beating the boy. They beating this child. We need help. You need to find them. They left in this particular vehicle, a white Suburban. They beating the boy. Cops located the vehicle, pulled it over. The boy is not in there. What does that say, ladies and gentlemen? It says that they switched up vehicles. P. Diddy Dowell and his gang of thugs switched up vehicles, fam. And P. Diddy Dowell, remember, he's the leader of the cult. So you know he had to tell Pastor Muir to lay low. You know he had to tell him, look, come on over to so-and-so and hide out. You know what I mean? They won't be able to find you because all of the properties are in another name. So when they try to look up Pastor Muir, they won't be able to just find him automatically because it's under different names. This is very, very sick. And it brings a light of how the ministry is ran. Let's go.
In that period of time, Bryson wasn't to be found. We don't know where he went.
But they don't know where he went. And also to those of you that are on the Ringo TV Raw channel, in order for you to see the footage of what we're showing, you have to be on the Ringo TV Reactions channel. We're streaming on 2 channels at the same time. Let's get back to the tapes.
This was passed to the Indiana Department of Child Services and then State Police on June 18th. This brings us to here, the 1700 block of West US 24 near Logansport, where ISP says the Muirs live. The property and the Chevy Suburban Kristen Muir was driving are both owned by a group called the Servants Leaders Foundation.
The Servants Leaders Foundation. The property is under that. The cars is under that. What does that say about P. Diddy Dowell? What does that say about all of their property? Now, keep in mind, when you hear all this talk about property under the Servants Leader X, Y, and Z, we're going to get into a clip of P. Diddy Dowell talking about these issues. Watch this. We're going to get into that shortly. Let's get back to the tapes.
A nonprofit religious group based out of Kokomo, ISP has not been able to get a hold of either the Muir parents or Bryson.
We really started looking at this as an endangered missing person.
We visited the edge of the property Wednesday. You can see several homes and cars on the road. No sign of a white Suburban or any people, though. The only sign says, "Welcome to Straitway, Indiana."
You see that? Straitway, Indiana. You see that? So who do you think is the ringleader here? P. Diddy Dowell. I tried to warn all of you about him. Now, he's in the news. Let's go.
Ocean. Googling Straitway, you'll find Straitway Truth Ministry, an extreme religious group out of Tennessee that some consider a cult. Adding Daniel Muir's name to that search, and you'll find a video on the Straitway Truth Ministry's YouTube page from 4 months ago showing a man who appears to be Muir preaching and referencing a place called Goshen, the same name of the sign outside Muir's Cass County property. State Police want anyone who could know anything to reach out.
Of course, the public includes friends and family of Bryson, that if anybody knows where he's at or how we can get a hold of him, we need to know that.
In Logansport, Eric Graves, CBS 4 News.
All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, Pastor Dowell.
Pay attention.
Here, hey, don't worry about it. I'm informing our people over at Patreon the real truth of what's really happening. So if you want to know, I guess you're going to go over there, but other than that.
Notice that he just told you if you want to know the truth, you got to go to Patreon. What kind of irresponsible pastor comes on YouTube and say, hey, if you want to know the truth, come to my Patreon? You do know when you go to his Patreon, you have to pay money, right? There's a fee. There's a fee in order to see whatever video he's talking about. If he's a pastor from God, why don't he just put the video on YouTube for the world to see? This is what I mean, how these men today have no integrity. Missing child. And he's more concerned about your money on Patreon. Make that make sense, guys. Look at his face. You can't see the guilt? Let's go.
If you are a believer in Messiah, All right? You believe in keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. Since when being persecuted by this world is considered to be under the judgment of Yah? I mean, that's the way that a lot of religious people believe. A lot of religious people believe that if you are persecuted by this world, if your name comes up in a negative light, if you get slandered, you get ridiculed, you get defamed, you get derided, you get chided, you get your character assassinated, the whole 9 yards. People say, oh, automatically they'll assume it's right. Automatically do. And so you get persecuted. And the book says, through much tribulation shall you enter into the kingdom of Yah. Many are the affliction of the righteous, but Yah delivered them out of them.
But you're not righteous, sir. You're not. You're not righteous at all. You're evil. You're wicked. Because you're making merchandise of the gospel. You got the truth of Bryson's safety, but you are requesting people to go to your Patreon to pay money to see it. Why don't you just give that to law enforcement? So law enforcement need to go to your Patreon too? I'm pretty sure they'll pay to sign up to see this video. Because once they find out about you and your involvement in covering all of this stuff up, you're going to be investigated by the feds. Then they're going to dig deeper to find out what kind of abuse is going on at Straitway. And why was this boy severely beaten like this? And why nobody took him to the hospital? What about that? How does the young man look like that? Who did that to him? His daddy? Did you do that, P. Diddy Dowell? Who did it? What man at Straitway beat that boy like that? Who did it? Who beat that boy up like that? I want to know. The world want to know. And this is why I keep telling you, ladies and gentlemen, stop trusting these pastors. These pastors are from the devil. None of them are from the Most High. None of them. You understand? We have a missing boy that was beaten severely, bruised and battered. And none of these pastors from Straitway Ministries have even come forward to talk about these issues publicly. There's literally a silence going on right now. If that don't speak volumes to the evil that is going on over there, I don't know what else to tell you. Let's get back to the tapes.
Every tongue that rises up against you in judgment, you shall condemn, because it's the heritage of the children of Yah. I mean, I can go on and on and on. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Every tongue that rises up against you in judgment, you shall condemn. And I sit up there and I wonder, and I said over and over again, like I did a few samples, I said, listen, I don't weigh what I'm doing, because like I said, and people try to copy me. Matter of fact, they copy me on everything because they don't have any original thoughts in themselves. But anyway, contrary to unpopular opinion, you can accuse me of whatever you want. But if a man like me fears Yah more than he do you, what do you think I care about the court of public opinion? That's all it is. It's an opinion.
Imagine this. There's a missing boy, and he is not coming forward to tell you if the boy is safe. You know why? Because at Straitway, they allegedly beat children into submission. That's what's really going on here. For that boy face to look like that, there's something going on with his lifestyle. Possibly he's in rebellion to what they want him to do. And they decided to beat him into submission like a slave. Because they probably twisted some Bible scriptures and decided to take things into their own hands. And now that the law want to know what's going on, they figure they're above the law. They're going to hide the child somewhere because they're afraid the child's going to talk. They're afraid the child's going to expose the secrets. And they probably beat him and beat him and beat him until he's convinced not to speak. Think about what's going on with the women. Think about the level of fear women have at Straitway, where they're scared to speak out of fear of being beaten. Let's get back to the tapes. Can't trust a guy that look like that.
Are you following me? You got to be strong in the Messiah and in the power of his might. You got to. You can't be sitting up there letting folks trying to intimidate you, cause fear to come up on you, and allow you to sit up and be fearful to the point you bite your nails to the quick because you care about what people say. Now, that's a big thing. You know,
you care about what people say. That's why you're making these videos. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be making no videos at all. So you know when I get on camera and I start to talk, it's over for you. You already know that already. Once I get on camera and get on this microphone and I begin to talk, you already done feel the energy because it's real. It's not no sugarcoating, no games. Straightway to Hell Ministries is a cult that's built off of greed, manipulation, and possibly even violence towards children. This speaks volumes to the character of P. Diddy Dowell. You would expect a man of integrity that he would come on social media and be like, hey guys, I know you hear what's going on in the news. Trust me, it's not what you think it is. It's just a little complicated. Bryson is perfectly okay. We have video of him right here. Bryson, could you come on in here? You would think that he would do something like that. But no. Instead, he just talks about him being persecuted. Because here's the thing, fam. This is how you know he's incriminating himself. Bryson is not his son. Bryson is not his son. Bryson is Pastor Muir's son. So why is P. Diddy Dowell talking about him being persecuted? Because he's involved with the cover-up. Let's go.
Hey, if you're going to live to give people information to try to help them, help them. But far as trying to, hey, if people got an opinion of you and they ain't contributing to your lifestyle, man, why should you give a damn about what they say? They don't.
Cat Williams is right, man. 2024, man, is the year everybody getting exposed, bro.
Care about what you say. You should do to take up the same tree and do the same thing. Don't care about what they say. But man, since when being persecuted by the world and by other false religious people, since when is that accusation is true? I mean, I thought if you're being persecuted, that's a badge of honor. Because if you're not receiving any persecution, especially for the way that you believe.
When has persecution become a badge of honor? There's no badge of honor in being persecuted. So he basically feel that it's a badge of honor if people talking about him. If that's the case, why you keep making videos complaining about people talking about you? You should be honored that people talking about you. See, what he's doing here, ladies and gentlemen, is damage control before the real public scrutiny comes forward. When the outcry of the public really comes down heavy, that's why he's doing all of this video right here. Because he knows it's coming.
And how you live, now the real question is this. You got to start questioning yourself. You need to start asking yourself, what the hell is really going on? Well, anyway, I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. King coming.
Bryson was with me 2 weekends ago, and they came and took him from the house. Believed to be his parents, like I know it was his mother, and I believe that it was his father in the car, but he never got out the car.
You heard that? Mother and father picked him up. Mother and father picked up Bryson.
And some other man. They took Bryson, who was 14, and they have not been able to tell me where he is, and no one, the police department or social services, have been able to locate him or the parents. They're not cooperating.
What is your biggest concern at this point?
That he is in harm's way. You know, if you're not speaking to him, and there's allegations or we believe he's been abused. So now we're looking for him to make sure that he's okay, and we have not been able to find him. If they are good parents, and if they are good people, and if they love their children, they will just show us that Bryson is okay. That's all we want. His family here is worried about him. He has an uncle and he has a grandmother or great-grandmother that is worried about him, and all the other children as well.
We are coming on the air tonight with a breaking news update just into our newsroom in the last 45 minutes in the missing case of 14-year-old Bryson Muir from Logansport. State troopers have now issued a statewide silver alert, and they believe he is in danger right now. We want to show you a picture.
He's in danger right now, ladies and gentlemen. A silver alert. Think about what's going on here, fam. Where is P. Diddy Dowell to talk about this issue? Where is Pastor Muir to address these issues publicly? Where are they? Where are all the minions of Straitway so-called ministries? Where are all those pastors that love to make videos talking about content creators? Where are those pastors right now to talk about this? Shouldn't this be a serious issue at the top of the menu? What's going on?
Who we're talking about, he was last seen on Sunday, June 16th, leaving a family member's home in Ohio with his mother, Kristen. In fact, Indiana State Police confirmed they've spoken with his mom and his dad, Daniel, earlier today when they agreed to meet. Now, his parents told police they'd show up with their son at 12 noon, but backed out on the agreement just an hour before.
They backed out an hour before. They told law enforcement, hey, we're going to bring the child. You know what I mean? We're going to bring him in. Y'all can question us. It is what it is. But an hour before showing up, Pastor Muir and mom decide to back out. Now, what does that say, ladies and gentlemen? It says they're guilty. Somebody's going to jail. Somebody's going to jail for abuse. All that talk these people love to talk on social media, now look at how they are being exposed. So this is what goes on at Straitway Truth Ministries. Children are being abused. Isn't this a shame? Let's get back to the tapes.
If the name Daniel Muir rings a bell, his father, that's because that father is a former defensive tackle for the Colts. Also keep this in mind. Family members say the 14-year-old was abused, which is why in those pictures you see at DCS reached out to police in the first place.
He was abused. That's why they reached out. Think about what's going on, fam.
If you have any information on his whereabouts, we're talking about Bryson's whereabouts, call the Peru Post at 1-800-382-0689. We know that is a number that may be hard to remember. You can also just call 911.
We are still worried.
11 days. That's how long it's been since his grandma or anyone else has last seen or heard from 14-year-old Bryson Muir.
11 days they haven't seen from him. And this is supposed to be his father on the screen. He's a pastor at Straitway Ministries. That's right. Pastor Muir. Wanted for allegedly beating his own child to a pulp. Now, how do these men of the cloth explain this one? How do they explain this one? Where is P. Diddy Dowell to come online and address the allegations? Where are these pastors? Where is Pastor Muir? Where is him? What's going on? Where are all the elders of Straitway? Where you guys at to speak on this matter? I thought you men are men of God, godly men of the cloth, righteous men that keep the commandments of Yah. But when it comes to the abuse of children, all of a sudden now there's silence in the church. Wow.
The son of former Colts player Daniel Muir.
I've spoken to Daniel's mother, and everyone is concerned about Bryson as well as the other children.
The teen was last seen on June 16th, leaving his grandma Cheryl Wright's house in Ohio with his mom, Kristen Muir. His grandma says her daughter told her they were heading back home to Logansport. But Indiana State Police say when Kristen was pulled over by Garfield Heights Police in Ohio shortly after she left, there was no signs of Bryson.
He could be anywhere.
On Thursday, Indiana State Police and the Cass County Department of Child Services say they finally reached Bryson's parents for the first time.
DCS and ISP were able to actually go into the residence on a property that's owned by a religious group there in Logansport, and did an on-site survey. But there was no Bryson.
Bryson's grandma got DCS involved when he showed up to her Ohio home with a black eye and swollen face.
So he showed up with a black eye and swollen face, y'all. They're abusing the children. They abused the boy. Point blank.
She called police after Bryson left with his mother because she suspected abuse to her grandson in that Logansport home, which police say is owned by Servants Leader Foundation.
Owned by Servant Leaders Foundation. Do you see how P. Diddy, Dowell and them put the houses, the properties, the cars, they put it under these different names so that no one can find out who they are. This is how they hide themselves. This is how they hide themselves from law enforcement. This is why it was so difficult to locate the mom and father. That's very, very suspect for a child to be missing over 11 days and they couldn't even get a hold of the parents. So the parents don't watch the news. The parents don't know that their, 14-year-old son is missing. Come on, man. They already know what they did to him.
He was so shocked from even being off that land. He's not even familiar with anything outside of that land.
She said the boy was so shocked for being on that land. Are you getting it? Are y'all trying to get what's going on? Meaning the boy is literally in bondage, suffering, probably going through a lot of heartache and pain, adjusting to this lifestyle of being in the cult. Let me wind that back again, man. I don't think y'all heard that part. Very, very telling section in this video. Let's go.
He was so shocked from even being off that land. He's not even familiar with anything outside of that land. And we've talked about those concerns, and she always assured me that the children were safe.
Bright is now begging Bryson's parents to come forward if they know anything.
They know where he is, and they need to tell the police.
A similar message echoed by Logansport residents who shop just down the street from the Muir's home.
I have two little girls, 3.5 and 4, so I couldn't imagine not having my baby. If he is with his parents, I suggest they do the right thing.
For residents, police, and his grandma, all they want is the safe return of 14-year-old Bryson.
Ultimately, we want to get eyes on Bryson. We want to ensure his safety and his well-being.
I want to see him and make sure he's okay.
This boy has been beaten, bruised, battered, and he's possibly afraid. He needs medical attention. And Pastor Muir of Straitway pretty much is in hiding. Don't want to bring the boy forward because once they see, there's going to be arrest. Somebody's going to jail. And the young boy needs to speak. The young boy needs to tell the truth of what happened and not be afraid, because I'm pretty sure they probably put the fear of the devil in the child to not speak, to not give no confession of what went wrong. But I'm just hoping that the boys speak up and say, look, my daddy, he allegedly beat me. My mom was there. She watched. She didn't care. And that's the truth. That's the truth straight way. Let's get back to the tapes. Let's go.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
The parents of a missing 14-year-old Logansport boy backed out of a meeting with law enforcement today, and state police tell us they were expected to bring their son to that meeting.
ISP tells us Bryson Muir's parents told them 1 hour before the appointment they wouldn't be showing up. WRTV's Naja Woods is live in studio tonight. Naja, you've been following this case very closely. Tell us what the new developments are tonight.
There's a possibility he could be unalive. There could be a possibility, ladies and gentlemen. There could be a possibility that the boy may be gone. Because with these cults, man, sometimes they do these rituals. Sometimes they done some things that is very, very bad. And in their mind and in their eyes, it would be better to unalive the child to prevent the child from speaking the truth and just deal with the consequences. In other words, they're going to get caught by law enforcement either way, right? But it would be better to just get caught and nobody know where the child is than to get caught with the child alive and then they speak and implicate everybody else that's involved. So for all we know, there's a possibility the child may not be here no more. And if he is still alive, I can guarantee you they put the fear of the devil in him to not speak about anything that happened, because they're going to want to know who beat this child like this. Who was punching him in his face like that? Somebody was beating the crap out of this boy. His head is all swollen. His face is swollen. Black eyes all over the place. Listen, this is what they do, guys, at Straitway. This is what they do. The truth is now out there, fam. But a pure fact, P. Diddy Dowell has not come forward to speak on these issues and make a public statement. It's going to definitely get to, national news. It's going to be all over the place pretty soon. By next week, this is going to be all over the place. And it's going to get really, really hot. Eventually, it's going to hit the Shade Room. Eventually, it's going to hit all the major platforms that there is a cult, a pastor, and they're hiding an abused child, and they're unable to come forward because they don't want to face the judgment. It's really, really sad that that cult have so many people that are blind and don't know how to turn away from the evil. And there's a lot of cult followers on their YouTube channel that don't even ask questions. I mean, think about this. A child was missing, a child was beat, and people will be in the comment section praising the pastor rather than saying, hold up, pastor, what's going on with this young boy that's missing? Nobody's asking no questions. Why? Because they worship the pastor. Just like in the Christian church, so many people worship their pastor. Their pastor to them is God. The pastor can do no wrong. And all these pastors do is take your money, taking your tithe, taking your offerings, taking all your savings. While you're struggling to pay your bills, the pastor lives in a mansion, flies a Learjet, drives a Rolls Royce while you got a roller skate to work. This is what happens all the time because of pastor abuse. Well, judgment is here.
Well, police says this shows the parents' unwillingness to cooperate. Shortly after that meeting was supposed to have happened, a silver alert was issued for Bryson. As we told you, he was last seen on Father's Day, June 16th in Ohio, leaving his grandma's house. Police say Bryson's parents, Daniel, a former Colts player, and Christian Muir were showing signs of cooperation yesterday. State police and the Department of Child Services in Cass County made a visit to their Logansport residence yesterday morning, but there were no signs of Bryson. The teen is believed to be a victim of child abuse. Investigators say his mom, Kristen, was pulled over shortly after they left Bryson's grandma's home in Ohio that Sunday, but Bryson was not in the car. And today's declaration of a silver alert puts a layer of urgency on Bryson's whereabouts.
He is believed to be in extreme danger and requiring medical assistance, and we don't know the whereabouts of him. We still at this time do not know where he's at. We do not have any leads, to my knowledge, as to the whereabouts of him.
Now, Indiana State Police say they're working with other agencies, including Ohio Police, to help find Bryson. The parents have also obtained lawyers, which police say they're now trying to talk to. If you have any information, you can call 911.
The son of a former Indianapolis Colts player is missing and believed to be in danger.
And his dad is now a person of interest in the 14-year-old's disappearance.
His dad is now a person of interest. That's right. Pastor Muir, you are a person of interest. Those handcuffs are coming, sir. Trust and believe. You will be having a prison ministry soon. If it comes out that you abused this boy, you are going to prison. No doubt about it. You are gone. And the ministry is done, period. So you could just forget about it. If you're enjoying the stream, be sure to get the likes up on both channels. We need these likes to match the views. If we have 400 people in the building, the likes should be 400. We need these videos to be pushed through the algorithm. We have a missing boy out there that needs help. Can't happen if you, the people, are not clicking that like button. See, when Julio Fulio makes a rap song spitting on people's graves, making diss tracks, he get 40 million views, 800,000 likes. A missing boy is out there who is beaten and battered, and nobody cares. Telling you, man, the world is really sick.
Terrence Lee is on the live desk with an update on the search.
Scott and Dawn, his name is Bryson Muir. He is 14 years old. There's a silver alert out for him tonight. And Indiana State Police tell me his parents are no longer cooperating.
His parents are no longer cooperating. What does that say about the ministry? What does that say about P. Diddy Dowell? What does that say about the character of this church? They're not cooperating with law enforcement. Why? Because they got something to hide. They got something to hide. And P. Diddy Dowell is the ringleader. Because P. Diddy Dowell, if he's a man of God, he should be communicating with Pastor Muir about, like, look, you need to communicate with law enforcement. This is affecting the ministry. But remember, Pastor Muir is a slave to P. Diddy Dowell, so he's going to do what P. Diddy Dowell says. You get it? They believe they're above the law. That's how they believe.
We definitely want to get eyes on him for ourselves to ensure his safety and his well-being.
Almost 2 weeks have passed since Bryson Muir was last seen with his mother near Cleveland, Ohio. While leaving his grandmother's place, she called 911 and told officers Bryson had a black eye and may have been abused by his parents.
Wow, may have been abused by his parents. Come on now. First, let's give a round of applause to Grandma. I'm sure we all had those grandmothers, man. All those grandmothers have always been there for us, fam. I'm pretty sure we all had it. We all had a grandma. Again, shout out to Grandma. See, the grandmothers of old, they still have that godly character. That when something is wrong, they speak up. Now imagine if Grandma wasn't around. The boy would be abused, beaten, and battered, and nobody wouldn't care.
Local police department, within a short period of time, found that vehicle, stopped it, but only found Mom to be inside.
We were all raised by our grandmothers, fam. Especially if you're in the Black community, you were raised by Grandma at some point in your life, and she always been there for you. Shout out to grandmas. Let's go.
No, Bryson.
After that, Indiana's Department of Child Services got involved, but couldn't get in touch with the family. Troopers went to their home in Logansport, Indiana several times and also couldn't get a hold of them. Until this Thursday, when Bryson's parents, former Colts player Daniel Muir and his wife Kristen, agreed to bring him to an ISP post Friday and speak with detectives. That never happened.
The attorney contacted our investigators indicating that the parents were backing out of that arrangement. To us, that signaled a lack of cooperation.
Now, state police are considering everything, including Statewide Truth Ministries.
Wow, Straitway is in the news. The cult. The cult. The cult of Straitway is in the news, guys. This is amazing. Look at that. Look at that. Listen, when the news media put you here, man, you know it's real. Let's get back to the tapes.
That never happened.
The attorney contacted our investigators indicating that the parents were backing out of that arrangement. To us, that signaled a lack of cooperation.
Now, state police are considering everything, including Statewide Truth Ministries, a religious group based in Tennessee. Many online have labeled a cult. Daniel is one of its pastors. This video was posted on YouTube 4 months ago.
What happens a lot of times is we'll sit and look foolish and say foolish things, whether it's out in the open or in your hearts.
Is it possible the boys in Tennessee? It's possible. Again, we're going to continue to push forward, continue to not only investigate leads and develop things, but also attempt to communicate both through the attorney and to the family directly.
We will post that photo of Bryson on our website. Please ask that you share it on social media. And if you see Bryson, please call 911.
Begin with breaking news first at 4 on the search for 14-year-old Bryson Muir of Logansport. A statewide silver alert has now been issued 12 days after he was last seen in Ohio.
A statewide silver alert has been issued. Statewide. This is serious business.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Jenny Dreisler.
I'm Eric Graves. Nick and Aaliyah have the day off. I talked to police just more than an hour ago. They tell me Bryson's parents had agreed to bring him to the ISP post in Peru at noon today, but backed out just an hour before that.
Yeah,
that's
the case
crazy.
We've been following from the beginning, a lot to unpack, and we go to Fox 59's Michael Van Scoik, joining us now in studio with the latest breaking details from state police. Michael.
Well, Jenny and Eric, state police say that decision not to bring the son to the post this afternoon is a signal the Muirs are unwilling to cooperate. Now, investigators have issued a silver alert and say Bryson is believed to be in extreme danger and may require medical assistance. Bryson was last seen on June 16th at his grandmother's house near Cleveland, Ohio. At the time, he had this black eye. She's the one who called police because she was worried he was being beaten. Bryson's father is a former Indianapolis Colt. Daniel Muir is a person of interest in the investigation.
He came out of a cult team and went into a cult in ministry. How convenient. And based on the reports coming in, he may have allegedly beat his son severely to the point where his son needs medical help, and they're unable to locate the boy to see if he's okay. And for all we know, and the father and mother and the ministry, the cult, are basically probably trying to patch him up together. Probably trying to get the swelling down, probably trying to fix him up, possibly put some makeup around his eye to really try to hide the severity of the beating. This is really, really sick, y'all.
Police and the Cass County DCS got a hold of Bryson's parents yesterday, 11 days after the investigation started.
11 days after the investigation started, now they got a hold of the parents. So it took 11 days to locate the parents, guys. 11 days. The boy is missing for 11 days, and they now got a hold of the parents. And when they try to put together a meeting with law enforcement to kind of get down to the bottom line of what's going on, they back out of the meeting an hour before. Why would you back out if you're godly people? Because you have a lot to hide, and you know you're going to jail. Remember all those mocking videos you guys made regarding me about you're going to jail? Okay, you guys are going to jail. You better get ready for that, because somebody beat this boy up and somebody's going to answer for it, because grandma reported this, and I'm thankful that she did, because if she didn't, it would have went under the radar. He would have healed of his wounds, but not of the inner pain that he's enduring under that cult. Let's go.
Investigators also got onto the large property where they live. This video is from when we were there earlier this week. The property is owned by a group called Servant Leaders Foundation.
What is Servant Leaders Foundation? I thought it's Straitway ministry. See, what you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is they put their properties under this Servant Leaders Foundation, right? And that foundation is probably connected to a 501c3, which give P. Diddy Dowell tax exemption. There's a particular video that is on P. Diddy Dowell's channel where he talked about how they're tax exempt, but they're not 501c3. That's a lie. You cannot just be tax exempt and not 501c3. The truth of the matter is they are 501c3, but under that particular name just mentioned. See, the news media just put it out there. I'm just calling it out. I'm putting it together. It's under a different name. You know how some companies, not companies, but some business guys, they hide their houses, their properties under different LLCs and different things. And it's like it's nothing is tied to their name. So it's difficult to find them because you get hit with the LLC or the C Corp or this or that. And it's like you don't know who's who. But see, P. Diddy Dowell incriminated himself in a video that is on his platform where he talked about how it is not good to have things in your name, that you should have it some other way, meaning it's not in your name, but you control it. And this is why it was so difficult for law enforcement to find Pastor Muir, because the home and everything is under some other name. If Pastor Muir lived at that particular house, right, then why is it under some other name? This is why the news media kept stressing that. Because normally when you have a home, it's in your name. But this ministry, this cult, they hide everything under other names so you don't know who to blame. Let's go.
Non-profit religious group based out of Kokomo. Now, ISP says investigators spoke directly with Bryson's parents yesterday. However, the agreement to meet with detectives at the Peru post was made through a family attorney. The attorney told ISP Bryson's parents would no longer meet today. Now state police meet the criteria for that silver alert, which investigators say will help get the word out on a much larger scale.
It goes out statewide, of course. It goes through the, mass media, social media, other law enforcement agencies. So it's just another way to exponentially get this information out. And at this point, that's really what we're seeking. We're seeking information.
After this video, the information will be out there. Let's go.
Now, state police tell us investigators will continue their attempts to communicate with Bryson's parents and their attorneys. Now, if you or someone you know has information on where Bryson and or his parents are, you're asked to call 911, or you can call ISP's Peru Post directly. That number on your screen, 1-800-382-0689. In the studio, Michael Van Scoik, Fox 59 News.
Well, all right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Citizens of YouTube.
Pay attention to this particular incriminating video of P. Diddy Dowell. Let's go.
Now, here, I want to talk to you about property. Listen to me, folks. Listen, if you are ever going to go out and you're going to purchase property, okay, it's one thing to purchase property. But if you want to know how to navigate and move into this world right here, the one thing you don't ever want to do in this world is purchase anything in your name. I know. It seems like you have a personal ownership. It seems like you can say it's mine, such as cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, land, all this other stuff. Listen, only the fools, and I mean that with all respect, because sometimes we do it in ignorance.
If this was a Julio Fulio video and I'm rapping and I got all sorts of chicks in the video would have 80,000 likes. Here we have a child that have been beaten, bruised, and battered. He's missing. And all I'm asking is for you to get the likes up so it matches the views. And y'all can't do that, fam. This is a sad situation, fam. This just goes to show how evil this world is. What's the point of being here? You got 529 people in the building. You can't click that like button. What are you here for? We're trying to get the word out. The way you get the word out is you click the like button. When you click the like button, YouTube pushes the video through the algorithm to make more people see it. So obviously nobody cares. Nobody cares about this child. But if we're rapping about guns and violence and trap music and drill music, everybody's clicking the like button. This is a real sick world we live in, fam. Seriously.
And only the ignorant fools will go out and purchase anything in today's time, as such as, especially something as land, which is a tangible asset. Even purchasing a car or a truck.
Do you notice that he's talking about land, cars, and trucks, that it shouldn't be in your name? So based on what we was hearing from the news when they kept talking about the land and the house and the car, it was in another name other than Straitway Ministries. Peep the game.
Which is something that depreciates in value. You incur a liability with these things. Anytime you have anything in your name, you are liable. Did you hear what I said? The way that the rich and the middle class and the well-to-do people is that they own nothing. If I said this once in the past 30 years, I've said it 20,000 times probably. The way that the rich and the middle class operate in this day, time, and hour is this. They own nothing, but they control everything.
They own nothing but control everything. And that right there is the blueprint of Statewide Ministries. He just gave you the blueprint of how they do things. You see that? They own everything, right? I'm not sure exactly how he said that. Let me rewind that back so I can get the proper wording of what he said. Hold on.
Operate in this day, time, and hours this. They own nothing, but they control everything.
They own nothing but control everything. They own nothing but control everything. So Pastor Muir property, the vehicle, they own nothing, but they control everything. You see how that works? Because the property and the vehicles are all under the name of some organization. And I can guarantee you, Straitway is under that same organization. That's how they hide everything. That's how they're tax exempt. That's exactly what's going on, fam.
Now, like for instance, I'm in a vehicle right here. This vehicle is not in my name.
Wow. The vehicle is not in his name, guys. Doesn't that go back to the news reports on how Pastor Muir's vehicle is not in his name? Are y'all peeping that? Let's go.
The insurance to this vehicle is not in my name.
The insurance is not in his name. Think about that. The insurance is not in his name. The vehicle is not in his name. So that means all the property and everything at Straitway is not in his name. So whose name it's in? It's hidden.
Yet, I get to control it. I get to use it. But if something goes on with this vehicle.
You mean like if a child is being transported in that vehicle after being abused and beaten? Is that what you're talking about?
My name does not take a hit. I'm not liable.
Wow.
The insurance company is liable because it's in the name. The insurance is for this vehicle is in the name of this vehicle. Is that making sense? If you go out there and you purchase land and you're trying to, first of all, you'll never be able to get it exempt if you're using it for some type of foundation, if you're using it for some type of religious organizations.
Did you hear that? You won't get it exempt, meaning tax exempt. If you're using it for religious organizations, do you see how he's doing it?
Or something like it. You'll never be able to get it exempt if you go out here and put it in your name. But if it's in the name of the foundation, or if it's
the name of the foundation. Doesn't that ring a bell, y'all? Told you I'm the best in the game. Now, didn't they just say on the news report that Pastor Muir's house and car is under a particular foundation? P. Diddy Dowell just confirmed that, guys. Let's go.
the name of some religious organization, even at that, listen, if you're going to go outside while being inside the system and obeying the laws, there you have to understand the way government is set up. Government is set up to not give you answers to nothing. They want you to discover everything, and as you go through the discovery process and you learn, once you get to the point, it's almost like they go, you got us, and then they'll automatically comply with what the knowledge that you have attained. But most people, it's just like trying to explain to people what's the difference between someone who claims to be a sovereign citizen, and which a lot of people don't know how to do that, and a statutory system or a statutory citizen. See, the reason why you go into these courthouses and you go in there and you talk about you claiming
Rebel for Almighty. Let me see. She says at Ringo, Pimp Dow Charles have device that can listen to police radios. He said it in one of his videos. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that's how they keep tab on what's going on. You know what I mean? On different things that they're saying over the air to see if they're coming down to Straitway. That's probably what they're trying to keep tabs with. Let's go.
Your constitutional rights. ignorant, foolish, and dumb. You don't have no constitutional rights when you've already signed over and voluntarily gave up those rights. Well, Pastor Dow, how do we sign over and give over those rights? Well, if you go get their driver's license.
So if you go get their driver's license, you sign over their rights. So basically what you're saying is you don't have a driver's license? And I mean, think about what this man just said. You give over your rights when you go get their driver's license. So he don't drive with a license then.
You voluntarily signed over their rights. I got plenty of people in this ministry that they know what it means to have a right to travel. And they don't have no driver's license.
They don't have a driver's license. Are y'all getting that? The cult leader just said that the people at his ministries don't have no driver's license. It's interesting, right? That means that the children that are being born don't have birth certificates and social security numbers as well, which mean they're aliens.
And they travel all over the place. Sometimes they get pulled over. Sometimes it's inconvenience. You get held longer than others, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, they let them go free. I remember not too long ago, I was down in Georgia, and I got pulled over in this very same car right here. And of course, the first thing they're doing, and I was doing like 70 and a 55. I was just cruising along. They didn't even have the radar detector on. They had no instant on. There's no way they could pace me because it was coming this way towards me. And yet and still, he was able to find out. He was able to tell me how fast I was going. And he asked me where I was going. And so I picked and choose if I really want to have this verbal altercation or not. And I didn't. So I said, here's my license. Here's the registration for the vehicle. And I'm going to church. You know what he did? He came back and said, okay, just kind of be conscious, a little bit, kind of slow down there, pay a little bit more attention, have a good day. I said, bye. You know what I liken it to? I liken it to because you've got my driver's license, out of which this driver's license is not associated with this car, nor the insurance. However, if my driver's license and my insurance and registration, if they all three line up in this car, guess what? They just got finished transactioning and a successful sale. Yes, you just volunteered to get levied, fined.
That's the device right there that I believe Rebel for Almighty was talking about. You heard the little sounds that was going off. That's the device that he have in his car to pretty much listen in on law enforcement. Let's go.
Get sent to court. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Well, Pastor, nobody ever told us all this. Go talk to your pastor. I mean, your pastor's supposed to know everything, right? Go talk to your pastor, and your pastor will tell you everything you need about stuff like this. So, again, just because you don't know, ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Somebody just got in that car.
You better start becoming educated. You better start informing yourself. You better start learning how to navigate in this world so you don't get taken advantage of. Because this world don't give a nickel's worth of rat's ass about you or anything. They care about fines. They care about taxes. They care about you being levied and charged. They care about all that stuff.
All of that talk that he keep talking is designed to distract you from the fact that there's a missing child. These are the things that you need to understand, because when he made these videos, you have to understand the young boy was already done missing. He was already missing, guys. And he was doing these videos. So he's trying to distract you. You got to pay attention to how he do that.
Anything they can to get and extort money out of you, be it a legal system, getting it from you illegally through nefarious means, by not even disclosing the terms and the conditions of these private contracts that you enter in, i.e. marriage license, driver's license, any type of state license or anything. I mean, and so don't get up there acting like you're a subject matter expert because you're getting ready to get taken to the bank in your foolishness and your ignorance. You've got to know what you're doing. You remember, you don't have any rights that you cannot declare. And you need to know what you're declaring. And when you go up into these places, you need to know what you're talking about. And not only do you need to know, many times you need to be able to tout. You need to be able to speak. You need to be able to regurgitate the case law for it. You can't just be setting up a ignorant. You can't just be running around doing stuff because you got your mind, you're dealing with a whole different type of system out here. So the last thing you want to do if you go purchase land is put in your name. That's the most ignorant, stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
And this is why it was so difficult to find Pastor Muir, because it's not in his name. This is why they couldn't find him. And now that they located them, they're nowhere to be found to bring the boy so that law enforcement can pretty much take a look at him to see if everything is straight. So the question is, why is P. Diddy Dowell not addressing these issues?
How you think I end up getting 101 acres exempt? I can tell you one thing, it ain't in my name.
He said he got 101 acres exempt, tax exempt. Only way that can happen is if you're a 501c3. So he is a 501c3. It's just under another name. So that if you were to look up his ministry, you can't find it. You get it? But the land itself is under some sort of foundation or whatever the case is. He hides everything.
I promise you that. It ain't in my name yet. I have sole control over it.
Because it was probably allegedly an inheritance from R.G. Stair. Think about that. Let's go.
But I have no liability. Now, I just spoke to you something that a lot of people out there that would never, ever, ever tell you. They'll tell you all this pipe dream and tell you everything they can to keep you in bondage to a system and in a way, but they damn sure ain't gonna teach you how to get free.
Missing children of Straitway. Why P. Diddy Dowell ain't talking about this? Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, P. Diddy Dowell of Straitway to Hell Ministries is under fire because Pastor Muir's son was brutally beaten to a pulp, and the grandmother called law enforcement, and basically the two parents was pretty much fleeing. They were in hiding. After 11 days, they finally came forward. They made arrangements to meet up with law enforcement so they could see the boy. And then an hour before the meeting, they canceled. So based on what I'm seeing, I believe that Pastor Muir is getting legal counsel as of right now. Clearly, he may have allegedly beat his son to a pulp because of possibly sexual orientation, possibly some sort of rebellion or whatever the case is. He definitely, in my opinion, allegedly beat his son. And he's probably seeking legal counsel to see what are his options in a situation like this. In other words, should I go to law enforcement? Should I even bring my son? Because they're going to look at him. They're going to ask him questions like, what do I do? So in my opinion, I believe that he's seeking legal advice. Maybe P. Diddy Dowell put him on to a particular attorney that can possibly give him some sort of options of what to do next, and give him a forecast of what he can expect if he do turn himself in or whatever the case is. Because the boy is going to talk. I believe the boy is going to talk. It's going to be a real messy situation. If the boy don't talk, it's going to make it worse because law enforcement will make the boy talk. When they really get down to the nitty gritty, they're going to make him talk. You know, they have their way of making you feel comfortable rather than fearful, because I'm pretty sure the church, the cult, I should say, is going to instill fear in the boy by telling him he's going to hell, by saying he's going to die possibly. They probably really put a lot of fear in this boy. The beating that he got was definitely from a grown man. Somebody was literally beating him to a pulp. And that's not the way you do a 14-year-old. If you're a grown man beating that boy up like that, you deserve prison time, especially if you're a former NFL player. Putting hands on a 14-year-old like that, that's not cool. And the mother of the boy should be ashamed, because for him to be brutally beaten like that, and y'all didn't come forward right away, it just proved that y'all don't really love y'all boy. You're more concerned about what the public's going to think. And it is also said that at Straitway Ministries, there's some sort of burial site right next to P. Diddy's house. And I wouldn't be surprised if the boy is in that place. You know, you never know. For all we know, the boy was unalived already. And they're going to probably try to come up with some other excuse of where he's at. You never know. So, hey, we're going to get up on out of here. When we get new updates, we'll keep you informed of what's going on in these streets. And hopefully, you know, we'll get to the bottom of the case. So that being said, I'm going to sign out on the Ringo TV Raw channel. Salute to everybody over there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, get the likes up. If you like the content, share the content, fam. That's the way we get the word out. A boy was beaten up severely by possibly his father, allegedly. And the church is covering it up. So we need you to share these videos. Share these videos all over social media. See, we need these videos to get out there so people could be aware of what's going on, because they haven't brought the boy forward, you know? So we might end up getting video testimony from that boy pretty soon. Somebody's going to talk to him. They're going to interview him, and he's going to speak. And they're going to ask him about the cult. They're going to ask him about P. Diddy Dowell. There might be a lot of stuff that boy is going to reveal, some dark secrets of that church. And that's why they don't want to come forward, because they're guilty. So salute to everybody on the Ringo TV Raw channel. I'm going to sign out over there. Come on over to the Reaction channel. So peace and blessings to everybody over there. It is what it is.